Well, good evening and welcome to Jamie TV. Thank you very much for being here. Let's see who's in the chat. Hey, Audible. Hi, Paul. Hi, Ed. And other Ed. Thank you very much for joining me. This evening, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just have a jam with Jamiemal's apps, which I know I'm pronouncing his name wrong, but I don't know how to pronounce it, so... with the buds, basically, right? So what the buds are is the kind of a collection of Midi apps. There is one instrument which is a bass synth with its own Euclidean sequencer, but the other apps are all about sending Midi information to apps to make them do stuff. What a deep and technical explanation. Hi, I hope that you're all well in the chat. Give me a thumbs up if you're feeling superbly groovy today. Now then, that sound that you heard at the beginning there was just me pissy panting around with a few chords. I'm not a magical keyboard player, but I just happen to think that those 4 chords sound great. So I know 4 cool chords. So let's just pretend, right, that I really am a terrible keyboard player, right? You know, just for sake of argument. The first app that I'm going to use is going to be... Oh, let's just change my view. There we go. Right, so as you can see, I was playing a sound with my controller keyboard, which is here, my ancient iRig keys, which are still awesome, and I was playing a sound from Mood Unit's Waverly, which is the pulsar shimmer sound, which I happen to just absolutely love. So I'm going to start off with that sound, but seeing as... Hey dude, thank you for being here. Now I feel a little bit thing, alright? I hope the stream goes okay, because the last time I did one of Jem's apps, that was the Melodybud video, and it did not go too well. I had quite a lot of technical problems that night, so I'm going to try and make up for it tonight. What I'm going to do is I'm not going to talk too deeply about any of the apps. I'm just going to kind of give you an idea, hopefully, of what a few of them do, and then if you want to know more information, you can always ask me. I can always do another video where I go a bit deeper. So let's add a MIDI track here, and I'm going to go to the audio unit MIDI processors, and I'm going to grab Chordbud, because for me, music, you know, normally starts with chords, and for some reason I just like my MIDI thing to be on the left hand side of the instrument that it's going to be affecting. So I need to go to Mood Units, and I need to ask it not to listen to iRig keys anymore, because I'm not going to touch the keys again. We're going to go and ask it to listen to information coming from Chordbud. Now in Chordbud, we have this really awesome layout where we can select what scale we want to play. Now, I'm going to use A minor for a very good reason. It may sound like a bit of a cop-out, but later on it's just going to make things very easy to explain something. So it's if you look here, where's my mouse? There we go. If you look here, is it switched on? It's switched on. I'm going to switch it off and on again because it's not doing no. Where are you? There you are. Thank you very much. Nice of you to join in the party. Right, so as you can see down here, right, my root note is set to C. I'm going to change that. I'm going to change it to A. Now, for those of you in the know, you could say that A minor is exactly the same thing as C major, and you'd be right, But this just allows me to demonstrate how you change this. So I've changed my root note. Now you'll see we've got lots of keys here, lots of scales, all rooting on an A. Now I can go down here and I can choose which scales I want to be included there. Now, go back here. I'm going to throw some chords into this timeline up here. So, let's just grab, say, an A minor, chuck it in there, and then I want it to last for 2 bars, so I put my finger on it, and no, I don't want to move it across, I want to make it longer. There we go. Right, and then I'm going to throw in, oh, I should show you this. If I just come down here, you'll see across here are all the chords belonging to the A minor scale. And you'll see that there are chords from Phrygian, Lydian, Mixolydian, etc., etc. You might want to mix them up, you know. You might want to use this app to learn something about what chords are relative to what scales, etc. So, next thing I'm going to throw in an F. And we'll make that one longer. And then we'll have a G. Stretch that one out. And then an E minor. There we go. There. Right. Now let's just play that. Now, as you can see, that's just going to loop round and around. Now, what I can do is, if I wish, I could go across here and set up a second pattern, a different chord sequence. And you can set up as many of those as you want, and you can manually change between the patterns, or you can use CC messages to change between the patterns. But forget about that for now. I'm going to show you how that's done later on. Go back to pattern 1. Now, something else I want to show you. If I select a chord, I can, if you look just here, you'll see I could change that out for a more magic chord, something with 4 or more notes. The jazz chords, as some people call them, right? So let's see if we make that F. What if we made that an F major 7? And the G I thought sounded a little bit obvious after the F major 7. So what we could do is go here and make that a different inversion of G. So now we've got a G over B. And that should I've forgotten how to talk. Should sound pretty special. Thank you for joining us, Michael. Hey, Joe. Joe's here, so she's my moderator, right? So behave yourself. Right, now, the other thing I can do, I like this sound, but I want it to be higher. So I'm going to select each chord in turn, go here, and make it play on a higher octave by doing this. Okay, now let's check that out. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that for now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to save that preset, and it's compulsory on my iPad to save presets as a dirty word. but I'm on air, so I'm just going to type in pants, saving AUM. Right, there we go. Now I've saved that chord sequence. It does, doesn't it, Joe? It sounds really, really nice. I found out about Mood Units Waverley through Doug, and it was actually him who put me in touch with Mr. Jackson, who has also made some other stellar apps. There's Waverley Tables and Excel, which they're just fantastic. They sound awesome. I've got to be careful about DSP for this session, so I'm using Mood Units because it's a little less heavy on that. Okay, right. I'm happy with that. So I'm going to move on from there, and I'm going to set myself up a new MIDI thingy and a new audio track, and I'm going to grab Bismarck. Let's have that. That's really, really light on the DSP, and I will go in here and I'm going to open Chordbud again. I'm just going to mute off Mood Units for a moment, and then we'll get Bismarck to listen to Chordbud. We have to tell it which one. Now we've got multiple, so it'll be the bottom one there. Right. And then if I go in here and open up Pants, Instant Chords. Now I think we'll move these back down an octave. I think that's probably a good plan. And then we'll go into Bismarck, we'll find a sound that we like. Something that'll go well with that big lush sound. Let's see now. Maybe a pipe organ. No, not that. Now they might blend quite nicely. Oh, hi Mars, thank you for being here, sir. Nice to have you. Right, now, what I want to do now is I want to show you Rhythmbud. Now, a lot of people, including myself, when they first got all the Rhythmbud, mistakenly thought that it might be like a drum sequencer or something. No. It's kind of difficult to say what it is that it does, so I'm just going to do it and you'll see. So if I just go here and add Rhythmbud like this. Now, what we're going to need to do is to go to Bismarck, tell it to stop listening to Chordbud, and instead it's going to listen to Rhythmbud. And Rhythmbud is going to need to listen to that instance of Chordbud. Now when I press play, nothing will happen because we've put no information into Rhythmbud yet. Right? So, right, Ed, yes, I'm only going to do kind of like a brief little bit with Rhythmbud. And what I think is after this video, depending what feedback I get, I'll go deeper into any that I'm asked about, right? And Rhythmbud, there's a lot we could talk about, but this will get you started. So I go into Rhythmbud, Now what we're going to do here is we're going to tell it what rhythm, right? We want that synth sound to, we want to tell it how it's going to be played. It's just easier to do it, right? So just look here. We can choose between note and rest. This app will also do ARP. It will do strum, ratchet. You can change the velocity, transpose, all that kind of thing. We're not going to touch any of that, just this one thing. I'm going to put in a whole note. We just turn this down a bit. I'll open up Chordbud, bring this here. Right, so you can see that what's happening is the chords are still playing for 2 bars, but each bar we are hitting the chord again. Now let's say if I put in a rest now, let's say a quarter note rest, and then a quarter note, another quarter note rest, and another quarter note. Okay, so you can see what it does a lot easier than me explaining it. Now, of course, I could continue across here and I could put more rhythms in. I could also go onto one of these timelines here and put in arpeggiation, strumming, whatever. I'm going to stick with this for now because I want to get a lot done in this stream. So now that I have that, all right, so that sounds, I like that so far. I think that could work. Okay, what should we do next? Let's have a look at Euclid. Euclid is a bass synth, essentially. So I'm going to need a Midi channel in a moment, and I need an audio channel. Let's open Euclid first. Now, last night, I had this idea for Euclid, right? I had this thought, and I'm laid in bed, wide awake, thinking, I wonder if that'd work. And I just had to get up and try it. I couldn't sleep, and it worked. So let's hope that it works now. We'll go here, and we will grab Snakebud. Might not seem like the obvious thing to use, but bear with me. And I'm going to connect Snakebud to Euclid just here. Now, if you look at Euclid, right, I'm just going to, actually, let's just detach Snakebud for a moment. I'm getting ahead of myself. Right, so I've got everything else muted, haven't I? I'll press play. Let's just change the steps here. The pulses, a nice simple 4, and the rate. Okay, so it's basically a synth bass module with its own Euclidean sequencer, which I've set to the simplest, most simple setting. If I want to, I can change the sound. by adjusting these parameters here, and I can change the frequency of the note here, or I can switch over to select a specific note. Right. Now if I set this to frequency, you'll see that Snakebud is telling it to play a C. Now, I want some low notes, so I'm going into my settings. I'm going to select a key of A minor. And I'm going to bring my minimum octave down to octave 1, maximum octave 2. Right, so my first chord was an A, so that's right. Then we want an F. We want a G. And then we want E. Right, now that's running too fast. Right, let's see if that runs in line with this. Hey Daniel, thanks for joining us, man. Alright, now I don't think that second sound that I chose is going to really fit the rhythm that I chose. But no worries for now, I just want to show you some stuff and I can go and refine it after. So let's see now, we've got Snakebud doing the thing with Euclid. So let's have a look at Artboard. I'm going to open one of my favorites. Let's go and get Tal. We'll get a nice Juno sound. Make me feel like I'm 16 again. That was a long time ago. Does anyone else feel aged by gear that was you know, the gear that you had when you first started doing music? Or is it just me? Tell me in the chat, right? Tell me what gear it was. What did you get really, really excited about? Like your first great piece of good gear that made you feel like, you know, you were on the map. So yes, what was I going to do? Artboard. But I'm going to need Chordbud again too. Okay. I want this to be on this side. Does anyone else struggle with this, by the way? I find this motion on AUM to get hold of a MIDI thing. Never on the audio ones, But on the MIDI thing, that motion to move it, it's just not happening. Let's move that one that way. Sam's Yamaha SY85, man. Do you know what? I had a Yamaha QY20 and I absolutely adored it. This wasn't when I first started out. I'd been going at it for a while then, but I remember when I got that QY20 and I thought it was just the most amazing thing, and I made so many demos. I used some of the sounds in studios. I have no idea where it is. I don't know what happened to it, which is heartbreaking. I just wish I still had it. I mean, I probably wouldn't use it, might use it out of interest once or twice in a stream. That might be good, but yeah. Maybe it'll turn up one day. Bottom of a drawer or something. Maybe it's in attic. Okay, so concentrate, Jamie. You need Tal to listen to Artboard. And Artboard needs to listen to Chordbud, that instance there. No, I've pressed something wrong. Go back to that burger icon. Take that off. You've got Chordbud listening to itself, you stupid hippie. Right, so Tal's listening to Artboard. Yes. And Artboard needs to be connected to Chordbud. Right. Let's solo this. And I'm thinking, okay, now nothing's going to happen straight away. There's nothing to panic about. We need some chords in Chordbud, so we'll go and open pants again. Apologies for that. We'll grab a nice sound. That's all good. Right, and now we need to do something with Artboard to make it arpeggiate. You'll notice that in Artboard, let me just stop that a moment. You'll notice that in Artboard, you don't have a key or anything because it's just arpeggiating the chords that you've selected in another app. Okay, let's see what we got here. Ed1 says an AUV3 amp. Ed B says first Marshall amp and Ibanez 7-string. Yeah. And Alex says his brother lent him a Jupiter 8 in the 90s. Wow. Yeah. A Jupiter. I can remember some of my keyboard playing friends going absolutely crazy over Jupiters. Right, now let me just check some settings in here. I don't want to randomize the interval. I want to set the interval myself. Let's change the rate. now let's make Tal sound a bit more exciting. With its now inbuilt reverb and delay. Changed my mind. Oh, that's better. All right, okay, so I realised that the arpeggiating thing, the way I've done that, it's a bit of an easy fix. It's a bit of a sort of a quick way to get something melodic going. And there's so much more that I could show you about Artboard. In fact, all of these apps. But I just want to kind of show you quite a few things. So let's move along, and we'll have a look at Melodybud. I really should do that. So let's see what we got. I need to make some changes to this one, but I want to get Melodybud done first. So I'm going to add another Midi channel and another audio channel, and this time I think we'll go with digitalism, because like I said in last night's stream, it's not that heavy on CPU, although it seemed to be having a bit of a problem in Cubasis 3, but I'm sure it's not heavy. I'll solo that channel, and then we'll get Melodybud. Okay, now it was Melodybud that I was demonstrating when I had a lot of technical issues, and I really wish that stream had gone better, because it's such a great app. So let's hope I can make a reasonable job of it this time. So as you will see, we have got this grid here is 7 blocks tall, right, for the 7 notes of your major or minor or typical scale, and then we've got 8 steps across, which we can increase and decrease, and we can change octave, velocity, gate, and if I just drag this down a bit, it now has ratchet and glide. And I'm just going to put some note. In fact, I'll tell you what, we'll make it 16 steps. That's a lot easier to do with my finger than the mouse, I have to say. This camera's not gone to sleep this evening. I don't know what that's about. Sometimes it does, sometimes it behaves. I don't know. Right, so let's throw some notes in here, and then we'll get a sound on digitalism. Oh, let's set the scale. Right, so we go here, a root of A, make it minor, there we go, and throw an A down there. And then let's see, make digitalism listen to it. That might be a good idea, you stupid hippie. Ooh, there's a lovely sound, eh? You wish, just reading what you've put in the chat, Audible, you wish that Melodybud had ties and subdivisions. It's the fastest way for you to jam, to get a melody going. Yeah. Yeah, well, Kem's here, so, you know, or Jem rather, so I shall let you converse with him about it. Let's grab a better sound than that. I ought to put more notes in really first, didn't I? That would be wise, stupid hippie. Something like this. Right, now what I'm going to do right away with this one is I'm going to go to pattern 2 and put a second pattern in. Now I've put in the first pattern, I've put a very specific melody. I want it to go like that. In the second half, I'm going to just throw some notes in, just make it a different spacing. Don't matter where I put them, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to randomize all of this pattern. So 100% random, probability take it down so that it will miss out the occasional note, and there'll be random notes from within the scale. And I think I want them to be on a higher octave, and I've found a nice easy way to do this. If you set, because I don't want to have to go across here and change all of these to change the octave for every note, but if I randomize the octave and then set that to the octave I want it to be on, then that does the job. I'll just do that again over here. I think there's a better way to do that actually, but it just was the first way that occurred to me. So, right, now, like I was talking about earlier with Chordbud, I can move between these patterns by selecting it or sending CC messages to the app. And there's various ways to do that. And I'm sure many of you are much more expert about CC messages than I am, because I'm a things with strings guy. Synth stuff is just something I love to play with, but I am no expert. If we go into the settings, we'll see that the patterns, here we go, the patterns CC message is CC10. So, let's go here and grab Stepbud. Now Stepbud can be used for many things. I'm going to use it today, all being well, cross your fingers, to change between the patterns in Melodybud. So we need Melodybud to take notice of Stepbud, and now in Stepbud, let me get this right. Actually, let me just open Melodybud, make it nice and small like this, so that we can just see up here if I successfully manage to get the pattern to change. Okay, now we need to send a CC message. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to put my finger on this section here and drag it across, right? And you'll see that moves along, and so does this. I know some people I've tried to direct to things in this app, and they've not realized that you could put your finger on this and drag it across. So we're going to the Midi settings. We don't need Midi coming in. trigger CC. We don't need them on. Right, we need to add a new CC channel. Set that to number 10. And highlight it there. And I just need 2 steps in here. Set this one to 1 and this one to 2. Okay, right. Now, it's moving across. It's moving across, but it's moving too quickly. But that's okay. We just need to change some things in rate. Change that. Repeat count is set to 0. I don't want the patterns to repeat at all before they change. I want them to play through and change back. So I think that's right. That's working. And if I just pull this down here, you'll see it moving between the patterns. Okay? That went a bit more smoothly than I expected. I usually miss something when I do that. Okay, now you can see that with these buds, it's more than possible to create a whole piece of music. It's not just about jamming and kind of, coming up with 8 bars or something. I mean, if you do that, that's great. If you come up with like 8 bars of cool sounding music that you want to jam over the top of, brilliant, that's awesome. And sometimes I do that and then I export that and I'll use that inside of a track, say maybe drop it into Cubase 3, use it in a DAW and build up sections like that. But because you can change through your patterns in this way, you can set up different sections, have a whole complex arrangement. And of course, what you could do with an instance of stepbud like this is you could send it to all of the other buds so that they all change through their patterns at the same time. So, so just think on that, right? Now, I need to get a better sound. So let's just find a sound that I like. It needs to be something that's gonna cut through, sound interesting. That's not it. I don't know. I like that sound, but let's have some. Oh, I used solo, didn't I? I did. I used solo. That actually sounds a lot better than I thought it was going to. Oh, Ed, thank you. Thank you so much. That's wonderful. Thanks very, very much. It's very, very welcome because January for musicians is so bleak. There's just no work. I've got my teaching. I've got my about $20 a month from YouTube. But yeah, January's a bleak. So thank you very much, Ed. Much appreciated. All right. Now, yes, That's the thing to do, Mars. That's the great thing about it. Being able to do this thing by video, you can watch it back later, and you can, you know, keep rocking it past that bit that you need to focus on. And you know, it's not like we on VHS anymore. You have to keep, like, you know, winding the tape back. God, I'm old. Right. So yeah, that sounds so much better than I thought it was gonna. Let's just maybe refine it a little bit, perhaps. Like, I like the delay. Maybe the reverb might be a bit much. Make it bigger, but less of it. Maybe? What's this sound here? Oh. Alright. Yeah. Okay, that's good. Okay, now there's a couple of changes I want to make to this music that I have so far. I'm not going to show you any more Bud stuff. I don't want to risk kind of trying to start another one and not finishing it. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a couple of things that I want to do to try and make this sound a bit more presentable as a track. So there's two things I'd like to do. One is change this rhythm here on this. So got an idea. Right. So bin to clear off the rhythm. Go to here, change the sound. I want something like a brass section, maybe more of a synth brass, but then like an offbeat kind of a. No, that would be an on the beat thing, you stupid hippie. If you want to delete something from here, you just press and hold and press delete. Now, put a quarter note in there. Like a offbeat brass thing, like a. All right, okay, and I can't resist the temptation to do something with the bass that I have done before in videos, but it's like a really, really popular thing that I've done before. So, like, play to the crowd, you know. Now, I don't think that any of Jem's apps will do this. So if I do this, Jem, and I'm wrong, and one of your apps could have done this, then please tell me and chastise me thoroughly. I will deserve it. So what I want to do is, when you're just solo this bass, right? Now, when you're playing around with this bass, if you move the cutoff and the resonance, you get that lovely, very, very pleasing sound, right? We all know that sound. I want to automate that. So I'm going to use from Rosetta, from Brambos, the LFO thingy. And if you're really into this kind of workflow, if you're enjoying this bud thing, then I would very, very strongly suggest that you go and buy all the buds, because they're all cheap as chips, and buy Brambos's Rosetta suite as well. And with the combination of those two things, you'll just lose days, weeks on end just absorbed in this stuff. It's so much fun. Okay, so what do I need to do now? Focus, hippie. I go up here to the little thing that looks like mixing desk, and I go here and select Rosetta LFO. Then, before I do anything else, I need to go to Rosetta, make just the top one active. I'm going to need the top two. I'll make them tempo synced, and I press play. And then I go to Euclid, up here again, and then I'm going to go down to cut off and learn. Right, okay, so now that LFO is moving the cutoff, as you can see, right, out of there. Go back to LFO, switch that one off temporarily, activate the second one, back to Euclid, and I will go to the mixing desk, resonance, learn, and now it's moving the resonance. Now I want this here so you can see it. Right, reactivate the top one. Now, using the rate control here, I want the resonance to move half as fast as the cutoff, so that the cutoff, as it moves around, as it's sweeping, like filtering through, it's changing the sound. But it's not just, it will change the sound this far and then just reverse it, because the resonance is moving half as fast. So we'll get a lot more variations in sound by doing this. Hey Nathan, dude, thank you for joining us. Can Melodybud or Loopbud do pattern change or just stepbud? I actually don't know, Nathan. I'm not sure, because I do it with stepbud, so I'm not sure. I should check into that for you and get back to you. I know how to reach you. Okay, so now I've got a couple of minutes left. What's my DSP like with everything going? Just want to tart up this bass sound a little bit. Okay, so only got a couple of minutes left. So what do we think? Did that come out alright? Shit or a hit? Tell me in the chat. And once again, the winners of the code for FAC drum kit, which I forgot to do, right? We have the three names that came out of the hat, because the other couple codes that I have, I'm giving away on my Patreon, because it seems only fair to give patrons priority, right? So we've got SJM90, Dare Bolher, is that? I don't know how to pronounce it, so but I will contact everyone as a reply to their comment when they tried to win on the video for FAC drum kit, so they'll know to contact me anyway. And Fam as well. Is Fam here? So yeah, SJM90, Dare Bolher and Fam, and those are the three names that I jotted down when they came out of the hat. Okay, so all you need to do is email me directly and you'll find my email address down below the video. All right, so what do you mean good start? That's my awesome track. It's finished. I've run out of time now because Doug will be streaming in a little moment, and I shall be watching Doug with the rest of you. All right, so thank you very, very much for watching. If anyone did particularly like any one of the buds and would like to know more about it, contact me or comment below. Just let me know, and I will do a further video going into whichever bud a bit more deeply. Okay, thank you, Mr. Camera, for not going to sleep on me. Take care of yourselves, good people, and make lots of music, and do not pissy pants about. Thank you very much, Jem, by the way. Take care, everyone. Bye bye.